Welcome to 40 Days with St. Maximus the Confessor. Each day of the Nativity Fast, we reflect on his timeless wisdom, teachings that guide us to humility, love, and union with God, the very reason for the incarnation of Christ. Let us walk together in the light of his words. Those permitted by God to test us either inflame the desiring aspect of the soul, or stir up its incensive power, or darken its intelligence, or envelop its body in pain, or deprive us of bodily necessities. St. Maximus teaches that trials permitted by God affect different parts of the soul and body: desire, anger, intellect, physical health, or material needs. In the Orthodox Church, this means that temptations and sufferings are not random, but allowed by God as tests and remedies, guiding the soul toward purification, humility, and of course, towards trust in Him, reliance on Him. As you can see, according to the Orthodox tradition, God permits trials for healing and growth, spiritual growth, and never for destruction. St. Maximus explains that these tests touch the soul's three powers and the body itself. First and foremost, he says, desiring aspect of the soul is being touched by temptations, because trials may inflame desires, exposing our attachment to pleasure or possessions. This reveals where purification is needed, redirecting the soul toward God. Then he mentions incensive power. Tests or tribulations in our life may stir up anger or hostility, showing whether the soul can respond with patience and love instead of rage. Then intelligence or mind is being tested. Trials may darken the intellect, clouding spiritual clarity and distracting the mind with confusion or doubt. This challenges the believer to seek illumination through prayer. What else can happen, according to St. Maximus? That body can be in pain. Physical suffering humbles the soul, reminding it of mortality and dependence of God. And then deprivation of necessities means that lack of material goods tests our trust in God's providence and detachment from worldly security. So let us not turn away from the tests. St. Maximus shows that these trials are permitted by God as a form of spiritual medicine. They expose our weaknesses, they train our virtues, they lead our souls away from passions toward divine love. The Orthodox Church teaches also that God allows temptations and sufferings for correction, never beyond what we can bear. They are opportunities for repentance and growth. Pain and deprivation reminds us that life is fragile and that true security lies only in God. The Church points to Christ's own suffering and temptations as the model. He endured all trials without sin, showing believers how to respond with faith and love. Thus, in Orthodox understanding, St. Maximus teaches that trials permitted by God test every aspect of the soul and body, exposing our passions and our attachments so that we, the believers, may be purified, humbled, and drawn closer to Him. The Church sees these tests as divine remedies, transforming suffering and temptation into opportunities for growth in virtue and reliance on God. Thank you for joining me for today's reflection from 40 Days with St. Maximus the Confessor. These daily reflections are meant to strengthen our faith, purify our hearts, and prepare us for the coming of Christ. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing so that you won't miss future reflections. Join me again tomorrow as we walk further on this path together.